Hey everyone, welcome back to a new WIzard101 video. I wanted to do a video today just kind of looking through the spellbook on my Storm and figuring out which spells I never use, I'm never going to touch in this game. You know, which ones are basically irrelevant to Storm Wizards right now. So I'm just going to go through that quick. I was talking with some people on Discord, kind of going over some video ideas, and I was just looking through the spellbook. I'm like, you know, there's a lot in here that people probably are never going to put in their spellbook and even think about. So if you've never used some of these spells, I mean, that's probably good because there's actually no use for them. I mean, some you might have uses in certain situations like PvP or something like that, but for me, we'll talk about that, and I don't know, I might put it into some of those that you're like, oh, I use that in PvP all the time. Okay, well, that's, you know, that's great, but I never use it. So let's go over some of those. I think I have all the spells on my Storm Wizard. If not, I'm missing a couple then, but I think I got most of them. So let's just go through the list. Storm starts with, well, it's going to go in pip order, so it's going to start with the ones that have an X, which means however many pips you have at the time that you cast it is how much it's going to take. So everyone knows Tempest, you know, one of the best Storm School spells that you can get. 80 per pip, so that's great. I'm not going to talk about the ones that everyone uses. But Supercharged, I feel like this one is used occasionally. It's going to take every single one of your pips to use. This is more like a minion spell too, because the minions use this all the time. And they think it's a really good spell, you know, they can get like 80% blade or something like that. And this spell is just not practical to use in PvE at all. PvP, maybe, but you can get it removed. You can wait 8 turns, or I mean, maybe not 8 turns, maybe like 4 or 5 turns. Get like a super, you know, super big supercharge. That's like 80, 90%, maybe even more. And then you can get it removed by bugs, sirens. I mean, a lot of things. So I feel like it's not practical in PvP or PvE really. Maybe PvE, it could be useful if you have nothing else and you just need a lot of damage to be able to kill an enemy. But it's definitely not practical in PvP if you can get it removed and you have to wait so long, and then you have to basically reset your pips. So this one I'm gonna give like a maybe, like kind of in the middle. You might use it, you might not. But have I ever used it? I really don't know. Maybe like a couple times just for fun, but not a practical spell. This one is completely I just don't even understand what this spell is doing in the game. Mega Soothe. Let's just put this in our deck. Here's a spell that you're never going to see in a Storm's deck. Just because, or anyone's, because every other school has this too. They have like a Calm and like, I don't know what it's called for this one. But every school gets a spell similar to this. Majorly reduced threat on target. 100% takes all your pips. What is... What's the point? Reduce threat. I want to kind of test this. I mean, I don't think I can really test it. If I go into a solo battle and I cast like all my pips on an enemy and reduce threat, they're still going to hit me because they have no one else to hit. Maybe you would use this if you can only cast on one target too. So if you're in a battle of like 4 enemies and you have 4, like, you know, 3 teammates and you're only going to reduce the threat on one target anyway, and you use all your pips, and people are going to be like, what are you doing, dude? what are you doing in Darkmoor? You know, you don't want Shane to attack you, so you use this on Shane. People are going to be like, he just wasted all of his pips for that. We might test this one out. I kind of want to just use it on like a haunted minion or a golem or something and just see what happens. Because I don't think I've ever seen this cast. Maybe I have, I just forget because it's been so long. But yeah, I don't know what this spell's doing in the game anymore. Because aggro, everyone's gonna get, you know, hit by an enemy. When you go in with 4 wizards and 4 enemies, at least like one of the enemies is going to be hitting you, like targeting you, unless someone else does something like a big heal or attacks or something like that. But I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Storm Spear, this one I never have a need for. If I want more pierce, I just go for gear that has that. I'm never gonna waste a turn getting 10 pierce. You can't even use like a sharpen on this because sharpen only applies to damage. This is just a 10% pierce blade. You know, 0 pips, you waste a turn using it, and then 10% more pierce. Okay. Maybe in a situation where you absolutely need a ton of pierce for some type of PvE instance or something, but otherwise, I don't know, probably not that much used. All of these are really used except this one. Lightning Strike. It's another blade that Storm gets. I don't even... Well, I think other schools have a blade similar like this. Like, it just gives accuracy. So, you're getting 10% storm accuracy for your next spell. And you can mess this up and use Lightning Strike and then use, say, Stormblade, and it would give you 110% on the Stormblade. And you basically just wasted that. You could just put up the Stormblade anyway. So I guess people might use this early in the game for their Thunder Snake to get 80%. But I was thinking about this, and I'm like, you know, if you're gonna use Lightning Strike to try to get an 80% Thunder Snake, why not just cast 2 Thunder Snakes? Because I don't know what the odds are there, but like it's basically 80% versus like 70% twice. So I don't know what what the probability is, like which one's higher, but to me it seems like casting 2 Thunder Snakes in a row is a better chance. But you know, hey, up to you. But I don't think this spell gets used at all. Actually kind of worthless. So Cleanse Charm used, all the attacks ones are pretty used. Disarmed, this one's more like a PvP one. I never really used it, but I mean maybe in certain places you might need it if you know that the enemy uses like huge blades and you need to remove them. But it removes a blade on an enemy, so pretty good in certain, you know, situations. Could be useful in like maybe lower level PvP where blades are a big deal, but otherwise, yeah, I'm not gonna be using this. Sap Power, 1 pip, sacrifice your minion for 4 pips. All these like sacrifice minion ones I feel like just aren't used at all, because one, you have to cast a minion that's gonna be like, how much is the minion? Is he 2 pips? 3 pips. Okay, what do you have to cast a minion that's 3 pips, and then you have to use another pip to sacrifice him for 4 pips. So like, what's the net gain of this? Like, the net gain is 0 because you cast 4 pips in order to do all of this. I never thought of it that way, but you actually casted 4 pips, 3 for the elemental, 1 for the sap power. Why isn't this 0 pips? It should be 0 to gain 4. So you basically just reset everything you've done. Why would you just keep the minion up to keep doing stuff for you? Because he could cast like a heal on you. He can hit. I mean, you probably wouldn't. Maybe people would use this in PvE, but why not just keep the minion up? Why not keep him alive? Why not keep it? Don't sacrifice your minions, guys. Keep the minion alive. You know, 4 pips to that's not worth it. I don't know. I've never used this spell. I don't want to, you know, disrespect my minion like that, even though I don't cast minions. But yeah, that's a spell. Oh yeah, all these are used. Soothe, reduce threat on target, 2 pips. Exactly the same picture. Mega Soothe and Soothe. So I guess we'll try this out. 2 pips to reduce threat. Okay. Probably not used, but we're gonna try it. All of these are used. Insane Bolt is used. Obviously all these. Healing. This is Storm's only heal really. It's an RNG heal for 3 pips. And yeah, you basically pray that you get the 1,000 or even 400 could be good. Keep you alive. I don't use this because I'm usually going with people that can heal me, so I don't need to heal myself. And even though this heal is not bad for me, because on my Storm I have 100% critical, so I'm going to crit the heal. So it's going to do at least, what, 200? Probably more because I have incoming gear. Do I have any incoming and outgoing? Yeah, so it'd be more than that. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not the best spell ever, but yeah, you can crit. Enfeeble, remove all charms on an enemy. That's pretty good. 3 pips. Completely remove everything they have. I mean, more of a PvP thing, but I guess it has some places it could be used PvE. I mean, yeah, good spell. Water Elemental, this is one that I remember when it got updated, and I was talking about it, and I tried it out. I'm like, you know what, let's see what this Water Ele can do. And it's a spell that I never really used. I mean, I probably should have used it back when I was soloing on my Storm, but to like help me out a little bit. But I don't know, I want to do everything myself, even without a minion. But I know people use minions in this game, so this is actually a used spell. And I don't recommend sacrificing your Water Ele for, you know, 4 pips. But yeah, he can help you out. He can heal. He can put up shields and stuff and get rid of shields. So yeah, he's good. All of these are good. Everyone uses this. Maybe not Catalan as much, but still, I'm sure people found a place for it. And use it. Catch of the Day. Alright, I forget that this spell removes 2 positive charms. I can't believe that. Like, I never use this spell. People only use this spell really for the damage. But then again, you can just use, this is 550 to 600. You can probably just use Queen Calypso and do similar damage. You know? Both Kraken and Queen Calypso are pretty good damage. But these spells definitely have their place. They're not like no one ever uses these spells. No, people use these. People use these as they level up. All of these, even Triton. I miss Triton, but you just kind of don't need them anymore. Triton, I just don't need you anymore. You know, you move on, you get the higher rank spells, and some of these just get phased out. I've never cast Triton, Stormzilla, Catch the Day, or any of these. I mean, I've cast these two. These two are actually relevant, but yeah, these ones, I don't know, not as much. Oh, Stormlord, yes, not these, but. Stormlord, you know, obviously really good for PvP, really good, just 7 pip damage, hit all. Any hit all is going to be good, I mean, come on. Leviathan, I feel like Leviathan's the one that isn't used anymore, because King Art just does more damage and gives you better buffs than this one. This one removes 2 charms, just like Catch of the Day. An 8 pip cost and 1030 damage, it's just not as good anymore. Just not as good. I mean, Leviathan was a cool spell. I remember seeing this spell for the first time, like, wow, that's so cool. You know, it's like a sea creature, like in a storm. But yeah, it just kind of, you know, some spells just kind of get phased out. Like Kraken has been phased out by Queen Calypso. This one's just better now. And same with this one. You know, King Art is just better than Leviathan, unless you want to remove the blades. But yeah, King Art just does more and gives you a pierce and the the extra accuracy, which is better. So obviously all these spells are widely used, super good. Shadow spells, I mean, shadow spells are obviously going to be used. So let's go, and where am I? We're in the Storm Tower. We're going to go and cast that Soothe. I just want to see what happens. This is kind of a longer video than I thought it was going to be, but man, I guess I have a lot of thoughts on spells for Storm that aren't used as much. Let me put these in, but I also want to put in an attack so we can actually kill. I'm just going to put in a Storm Snake with Epic and try it out. But yeah, I don't know, just wanted to talk about some spells and how often they're used for Storm, because that's just an interesting topic. There's also one, I know there's at least one spell that I don't have, and it's the other minion. There's like a rank 5 minion, I think, that I don't have, so maybe someday I'll try to get that, but for now, we're good. I don't need these blades. Here we go. Soothe. I'm going to turn up the sound effects all the way so we can hear this. Reduce threat on target. Okay. Reduce threat. Go. Dude, I reduced your threat. I reduced threat. Why are you hitting me? You should just pass. This should make you pass. Oh, got a shadow. Can I use a shadow to Mega Soothe? Can I Mega Soothe him with shadow? Let's wait a little bit. I mean, obviously it's not going to do anything if it's just you, because the enemies, if they're going to attack someone, they have to, you know, they have to have a target, right? But I don't know. Just let's see if this one is a different. Wow, I'm getting so many shadow pips, of course, in a fight that doesn't matter. Let's just see if this one's any different. Gonna go with no. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, those spells, yeah. I feel like someone should ask this question in KI Live. What's like the most less used spells for Storm, for whatever school, or for all the schools? It's gotta be those. It's gotta be the Soothe. No one wants to Soothe. That's pretty good. That was a pretty good Storm Snake. So that is it for me, guys. Just wanted to quickly go over some spells, have a little discussion on them. I thought was interesting, because some of those things you don't really think about. You know, you just get the spell and it's like, okay, cool, and you move on, you never use it. But yeah, they exist. So I might do one of these on the fly for fire at some point. I don't know. It'll be fun. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.